fair few people start to like install the wallet because of it, so that's a good thing. But because like some streamers streaming it at so at the same time, so he always gets him coming along, and then they join the Discord. They're like, oh, right, okay, we best install the wallet now.
Nice. Nice work.
You driving?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and mute. I guess hopefully Luke will be here in a minute and we'll get it rolling. Huh? When the when does the meme contest end?
Hey, everybody.
Valentine's Day. Hey, Luke.
Hey, Luke.
Happy early Valentine's Day, I suppose. Welcome to the Bat Community Call for Tuesday, February 13th, 2023, the day before Valentine's Day, as we said. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you've been having a good week. It's been a busy one. As Bat says, hope you all are spending the Valentine's Day with loved ones. Without further ado,
isn't that what we're doing right now?
I think so.
That was what I was trying to imply.
Hey, I'm all for the love. Let's dole it out across the board. I love it.
Getting some late night loving from Europe here.
Excellent. Awesome. And without further ado, I think I'll just hand it over to Jenny. I don't know if you guys have any updates you want to share to kick things off.
We do. Hi, everybody. Happy early Valentine's Day. Love the joke about spending it here with loved ones. Okay, so let's kick off the community update today. Okie doke. Let's roll right in. So I mentioned last week that we'd be moving the Bat Ambassador referral stats update to a bi-weekly update. So last week we didn't give one, and this week we're back with another referral stats update. So for anyone new, don't think there's anyone new here, but just in case, we publish the recordings now for this call on YouTube. So for anyone who might be watching later, the purpose of this campaign is to help measure the Bat Ambassador program's impact on user growth over time and as the Bat Ambassadors program continues to grow. So this campaign that we've kicked off has been going on since September and remains ongoing. And the 6-month mark for the campaign is fast approaching at the end of February. So we're almost there. And as you can see here, our 6-month target for the campaign, so end of Feb, is to reach 250 conversions on the browser. And we are 81% of the way there with, a couple weeks left. So I think that we can make it. And actually, I pulled these numbers over the weekend, so they're probably a little more advanced than what you're seeing here. But anyway, our ambassadors have driven almost 6,000 downloads to date, and that number is up 5.74% since the last time we checked in. From those, 428 people have opened the browser, started using it, and that number is also up 3.38% since the last time we checked in. And we've converted 202 new users to the Brave browser, which is awesome. And that number is also up 9.18% since the last time we checked in. So I'm really impressed with this campaign so far. We've been hitting all of our targets to date. Our ambassadors are working really hard, hosting lots of events, attending loads of events, bringing their QR code, making sure to talk to people at these events about Brave, also family, friends, that's a given. But a lot of them are actually going out and hosting, organizing meetups and events where they can then talk to people and get people to try Brave. So it's been really impressive, and I love to see the growth. So keep it up, Bat Ambassadors. And actually, I want to highlight our top referrers of the week. So we've got Nam Giang from Vietnam, whose downloads are up 265 new downloads since the last time we checked in. which is amazing. And Stan from Kenya, always a star, has been very consistent throughout this campaign. His downloads are up by 62 since the last time we checked, and his conversion rate is 12.5%, which is really, really impressive. I think anything above 2 is like exceptional. So that means that 12.5% of all the people that Stan is getting to download the Brave browser are, sticking with it for 30 days or longer, which is just great. So we're going to need to work very close with Stan and some of the other African BAT ambassadors this year to, figure out what their approach and formula is, because it's really been working for them, and try to replicate that across the rest of our other groups who are doing a great job. But I mean, this is just unbelievable. So well done, Stan. Also well done to Nam Jiang. And honorable mentions this week, Belladone has driven about 68 downloads, which is awesome. And Donatello's downloads are up by 11 as well. And this actually corresponds to a recent event that he partook in. He and a small team of BAT ambassadors from Mexico took part in the ETH Cinco de Mayo hackathon about a week and a half ago, where the team not only networked on behalf of Brave, got people to try the browser, but they also distributed official merch on the ground, and they also hacked in the hackathon, which is awesome. So they did a lot with the little time that they were afforded. That's great. And we should have a detailed update from Donatello next week about how the hackathon went and takeaways. So Paula will relay that next week. But just want to say well done to all of our ambassadors, and it's nice to see some new names up here on the screen. So keep it up, guys. All right, moving on to some BAT Community Weekly highlights. So, as you all know, we have been partnering with Karate Combat. We currently have an arena sponsorship with them, where our branding is prominently featured on and in the arena on their live televised matches, which are broadcast globally. It's been a super fun partnership for us so far, and we want to continue to support this sponsorship from the community side via watch parties, which have been really successful so far. So for the past few events, I think KC42, KC43, and the Kickback 1 event, we did watch parties that we hosted for the BAT community and also the Karate Combat community, where we live streamed the fights through Brave Talk, and we gave out some BAT and karate tokens for people who participated. And during the stream, we used the live chat feature in Talk to sort of discuss what's happening on screen, and we used the polls to vote on fighters. It's been a lot of fun, and this time we want to try something a little different. So we're going to be hosting yet another watch party on February the 23rd at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 o'clock UTC. All these details will be on Twitter, so you don't have to remember them. We have a Brave Talk link for the event coming soon, and you can visit karatecombat.com to see who all the fighters are who will be participating. Lots of names that I'm not familiar with, but maybe you will be. But in addition to the primary matches, there will also be some crypto influencers fighting. So BitBoy, Ben Armstrong, Morelight, there are a whole bunch of them. I think there's a list up somewhere, but so that'll be really cool to see. And this time with our watch party, like I said, we're going to do something a little bit different. So Crypto Dojo, Scott, aka Crypto Dojo, our BAT ambassador that is US based. He's also a martial artist. He has a YouTube channel. You all know we've talked about it and highlighted him over the past couple of weeks for some of his recent initiatives. But he likes to provide live commentary during these Karate Combat matches because he's a martial artist. So what we're going to do is have him provide fight commentary on the live stream from his YouTube channel, and then we're going to stream that through Brave Talk. So you'll have the live fight happening in the background, and you'll have, Crypto Dojo appearing in a little window in the corner giving commentary. So we're going to try to stack all that together. We've already tested the configuration. It seems to work. So we're really excited. And we're also going to token gate this watch party. So if you want to join, you'll have to visit the Bat Brigade Discord in the week. Oh, what was that for? Am I dragging?
No, I think it was misclick.
Oh, okay. All right. Hopefully it was a misclick and I'm not boring you guys.
No. Theory had a funny joke in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry, missed it. I only have I can't see the chat and the deck at the same time.
No, keep rolling. You're doing
All
great.
right. Okay, sorry about that. So, so what I was saying was we will have a special co-op that Guillermo is designing that you'll have to collect in the Bat Brigade Discord prior to the watch party if you want to join. And we'll make it available up until like the end of the live event. So even if you show up, halfway through the fights and you want to join the watch party, you'll be able to go into the Discord, grab the POAP, join the Brave Talk. And this is allowing us to, layer promo for some of Brave's amazing features. So of course, we're going to be promoting, Brave Talk and its live streaming and poll and chat capabilities. We're also going to be able to highlight Brave creators by, running the stream through Crypto Dojo's channel and his verified channel. We are also going to be distributing BAT prizes, and we'll be able to highlight on-chain contributions for creators and the Brave wallet. And we're also going to be driving new members, hopefully, to our Discord community to get the POAP. So we are stacking promo, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, just like all the past events have been. And please join. Love to see everybody here, there. Does that make sense? Anyway. We'll have full details about this on our Twitter this week. So you'll have the link, and we're going to do lots of promotion, so you won't miss it. Okay, let's move on. So last week we mentioned that we had a Web3 quest going with our partners at Bandit Network for our BAT and Atom Ape holders with Karate Combat. And we're kind of holding back promoting it more widely because there was a bug that was affecting some people, not all, but our friends at Bandit have fixed the issue and the quest is now live and functional. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like here. This is Bandit Network's homepage, and our quest is featured front and center on the banner. So you can actually click that and hang on a second, move over here. You connect your Brave wallet or other Web3 wallet, and you complete the set of actions in the quest. So this is an example for anyone who maybe has been a little bit confused. We've been talking about quests for a couple of weeks, but haven't gone into deeper detail about what they might involve. So in this case, all you have to do to participate is connect your Web3 wallet, prove that you're holding a Curious Dabbler in Degen or Sage NFT, follow Brave on Twitter, follow Bandit on Twitter, and then fill out a little form where you input your Hedera wallet to receive Karate tokens. So you get entered into a draw to receive Karate tokens for participating. And you also get this funky NFT on the right-hand side of the screen. So that's a picture of my NFT portfolio in my Brave wallet. And there's the NFT that you get for completing the quest. And this is just a simple quest that we launched with our partners at Bandit, but we're working on some more engaging quests, and those are coming soon. But in the meantime, if you're one of our NFT holders, you can participate in this one and potentially score some Karate Combat tokens.
Quests are big, just for what it's worth. I think I'm just gonna kind of expand on this for a second because quests are kind of we had an old pitch where part of the ecosystem was take a test drive, walk through the virtual car of the ad or whatever, and between then and now quests kind of become a thing. And what we're seeing, which is kind of interesting, is that quests took off as a really good way to market Web3 things to Web3 people, but even those cohorts are kind of getting topped out, and people are how do I get in beyond airdrop farmers and folks that are at the top of the user base that we're hitting the limit on. And so one thing we've been working with Bandit on, I think, and something we're going to start to make more break through more through the ad platform is getting additional Quest types of engagements going with advertisers, whether that's like Web3 at the beginning or abstracting away a lot of this too, and then bringing like more mainstream types of advertisers on. Because I think if you look at what's happening more broadly, like Chrome's going to be blocking not Web3. Chrome's going to be blocking third-party cookies, which is going to kill a lot of like audience segmentation that advertising has been using. And so marketers are kind of stuck in not needing to find new ways to segment audiences and things like that. And Quests are cool because like what Jenny's showing you is like, okay, an advertiser comes in and wants to buy something or a campaign to do something, right? Like in this, you can include that engagement event, but also include like virality and stuff that basically like helps to share it across a network of people that are like you a lot of the time. And so it's a way for marketers to kind of get the objective done and see the ROI for what they're doing, but then also like build out, their presence across people that follow you on Twitter or wherever, right? Like wherever that engagement's there. So I think it's something where it helps to kind of put a piece in the puzzle on what we're doing, and we're going to be doing a lot more testing with this. But Bandit's been really great as far as a partner goes on like doing these things with us, and so encourage all y'all to keep doing it and giving us feedback and helping to squash bugs now as we roll these things out more. Thanks, Jenny. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that was super helpful context, and I'm glad you're here to give the context that I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to share yet. So thank you. Super, super helpful.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Moving on. So on the 20th of February, our Bat Ambassador from Brazil, Bruno, is going to be representing us on a space with Zcash's Brazilian community. The space will be in Portuguese, but if you're interested in attending, we will have a link for that very soon. We're still getting the details ironed out and the promo up. But once we do, if you speak Portuguese and you would like to go cheer on Bruno, then you're welcome to join. But on that note, we will also be hosting the Bat Community on the Bat Community Twitter. We will be hosting Zec Hub, which is Zcash's developer community, in a couple of weeks too. So if you can't make one, or you can't speak Portuguese, you can come to the English one. But more details on that later. Okie dokie. And I also wanted to remind everybody that we have a Bat meme contest with a Valentine's Day theme ongoing. It ends at 1 p.m. on February 14th, Valentine's Day. So tomorrow, the top 4 memes will receive that, and you can enter directly on the thread on Twitter. And we've actually received some really funny entries so far, so I put them on the next slide. But if you have anything else up your sleeve, please submit it. These are the entries so far. I didn't put the credits on. I didn't have enough time, but one of them's from Namjiang, one's from Bao's. I can't remember who made the one in the middle, but I think it's my favorite.
I think.
Who's who?
Jimmy, I think.
Oh, yeah, maybe Jimmy. But they're really good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for participating. The entries have been really great so far. 1 day left. Okay, and now I will hand it off to Battern.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well on this fine evening. So this week on the ambassadors, I've been basically at the moment, we've kind of like got 2 different focuses. We're consolidating all the ambassadors we've got from this season, as well as getting prepared to make the most of the next one. So I've been going through the Notion and updating everyone's details. After this week, I hope to never have to ask for a wallet address again. So we've made sure we've got everyone's Solana wallet, everyone's Ethereum wallet, so that when we've got rewards or prizes, we can just send them out. We've got notes on what people have done and what they want to do, so stuff doesn't get just lost in the weeds. Because when the program was smaller, it was easy to like keep up personally with what everyone's up to, what everyone's been doing, what they need doing. However, like if we want to expand beyond where we are, then it does help to have a database, so we can just check in and know what everyone's been doing. We had a meeting with Zapier, who are kind of like an automation company for I don't know, it's not specifically Web3, but it's sort of like it lets you push stuff between Google Forms, Notion, and Discord. For example, whenever someone does like a swag request form, we can have it ping us on Discord, so we know to check I thank you, Moonbeamer, for setting all of that up, because it's yeah. Until we had the meeting with Zapier, she was telling me all this stuff. I had no idea what it was all about, but it looks really interesting, and actually we can use it. Too far, Jenny.
Sorry about that.
So with regards to the moving forward, the Gamer base, we moved all the Zeely quests into a spreadsheet now. So they're getting balanced and wordsmith this week. We should be ready to put them into Gamer base for next week. We're aiming for a basic version of it all by the end of the month, so we can test it till where we want the next round of ambassadors. And we should have at least some of the voice acted multiple choice questions part of it done by the end of March. Woo woo.
Thanks, Pattern.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm sorry about my voice today, but we just published in Notion the space recap with Lead Cosmos that we did on January 12th. You can always find these recaps in the Bat Brigade Discord in the AMA Calls Recap channel, specifically under information. And soon we will be posting this and Injectives recap in the Bat Community account on X. Thank you so much. And I think it's Drew's turn. Thank you.
Thanks, Paola. All right, Drew.
Okay. Hey, sorry about that. So yeah, some of the stuff I covered, the karate combat class, I think it's supposed to be ending soon. We'll see when exactly that is and get it announced and whatnot. So yeah, check in the Discord for that link to Bandit that has that if you're an NFT holder. Then they're working on some other partnerships and like Luke and Jenny said, as well as quests and things like that are going to kind of utilize BAT and as well as, rewarding holders and things like that. I think we're still looking for a space guest this week. And then, and I think as mentioned, we got the upcoming stuff with VChan and Zcash coming up as well next few weeks. And then, yeah, we're trying to see about, adding things to some of the ads, like maybe NFTs or things like that to kind of get more involvement and engagement from different communities and stuff like that. So if there's communities you guys want to see maybe presented in some of the ads or things like that, just let us know. But I think that's about all we got right now.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, that's a wrap for us this week.
Awesome. Thank you all very much. Really good updates in there. And that reminds me too, I think there was one super cool update I forgot to share with you all at the beginning of the call, but I don't know if you all noticed it on X over the weekend, but the Nightly team shipped the Zcash integration in the wallet for Brave Nightly. I think it's on desktop only. Initially, it was behind a flag. I think the flag might have been removed, but if you don't see it right away, update and check feature flags. But I'm pretty sure it's out from behind the flag now. So that's a huge deal. Like teams have been working really hard on it. It's just a beginning too, and like with most of these L1 integrations we do, it kind of rolls out in phases. And the first phase is basically getting basic, send and receive support, and then from there it'll build out things like shielded transactions and a whole bunch of other cool stuff that Zcash wants to work with us on from the wallet. And so it's a cool differentiator for what we're doing, and plays in really well with the privacy side of things. And so desktop first, and then we'll do mobile, and then more to come. But it's pretty exciting to see that one ship. Cool. I think what else have we got going? Pretty soon we're also adding support for language localization for Brave Ads Manager, a self-serve platform, and we're about to do a push across Web3 press around the release and launch to do kind of a follow-on. And so in Spanish language countries and in Brazil, we'll have support for the self-serve platform. And Carlos has been working really hard on getting things lined up with agencies down there so that we can pitch them on this as soon as the localization's added. And the team's been making really good progress on that. So more to come on that soon. But I think one thing to keep in mind with Brave is we have a very global user base. So, just hitting Central and South America, it's basically like 17% of the addressable audience that we could hit. So it unlocks a lot of additional, potential for this, and with the incentives around using BAT too, it becomes something that people are down to test out. So we're pretty excited about that, and then we'll add more and more languages, of course, as we go. Right now, I think North America, Central South America are pretty big. France is also a really big country as far as users go, and India is number 2 or 3 or something too. So we're working on that as well. But just some updates on that front. I think we can open it up for questions too. Folks have questions or anything you want to talk about, or if anybody from the team has questions. Yeah, go ahead, one, sure.
Hey, Luke, what's up? I think 2 questions. One, with the Quest thing, how would that work? Would it be like a notification, or what would be? And then number 2 is our publisher ads still on the roadmap?
Yeah, no, great questions. I'll start with the first one around the Quest. So there's 2 ways this will go out, and we'll do it in steps, right? But the first step is just to continue to prove out on the ad platform. So you'll see notifications. You can see feed ads for quests, but basically you're advertising the quest for the brand, and then the user goes through and fulfills the quest. So if you're a reward user, you could get a reward for viewing the ad, and then you could also get it for completing the quest right at the end of that, and get a bigger reward at the end of that. And initially, this is like a way for us to kind of prove out the model, but ultimately, this is something where you could have an advertiser come in and buy a campaign and say, "Hey, you want to use Quest as the type of campaign that you want to run? Okay, cool. This is how much you want to allocate towards the Quest rewards, and then this is how much you want to spend on the campaign to promote it," and kind of tie them all together that way. Ultimately, because I think one thing we hear a lot about it from people are how do I get more rewards, etc. Well, this is a way we can do it where it solves a real practical need from marketers to basically get more engagement, and also to get into this audience, because as we grow bigger, and as Web3 and as more and more ad blocking grows, etc., these advertisers need to find new ways to directly connect with people. And especially with third-party cookies being blocked from Chrome, which is a huge deal. And then you look at other things on the horizon, like Manifest v3, which are going to cripple a lot of ad blockers. Brave is positioned pretty well to come in and increase the base even more. So I think that's the first answer to the question. So yeah, you'll see an ad for a quest or promoting a quest, and then you can go to the quest and do it. And I think the other side of that is this could also potentially become something where it's a public facing questing area too. So if you're a Brave user, you could get prompted when new quests show up, or if you're part of the public, you could go and see what quests are available. These are things we're exploring now. We don't have we're want to really feel good about how these are performing. We suspect they'll do really well. Everything we've done with them so far has been great. But then this could also be something where people are coming to us, which is great, because it's just another way to get engagement from folks. And so yeah, pretty stoked on that. I think ideally long term, right? You could even market this in a way that just kind of abstracts away the Web3 part, and basically users end up getting rewards or whatever, but it can get baked into discounts on things or whatever you want to do on that redemption side on the other end of it. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. The publisher ad piece, yeah, that's something we want to do. I think I've kind of covered this before too. When you're looking at it, it's kind of like a scale opportunity, right? So as we hit larger scale, and grow the audience bigger, the unit economics on it make a lot more sense. And I think that, that's where we're still going with it. It's obviously taken a long time to get it out there, but I think in that time too, we've also brought on the search engine and our got search ads. We're bringing that to market and other things like that. It's not something we have taken off. It's just something that for it to be worth the effort and monetization, like, here's what I can break this down in a pretty simple way, because we spent 2 or 3 years like knocking on doors and getting pies thrown at us by publishers, depending on our skill. But you go in and you say, okay, here's a new thing, and they say, okay, well, you're blocking our ads, like, and you're not huge enough for me to have to like put the time in. Why am I doing this, right? And so the key is to get big enough to where they have to do it. And so that's kind of where we're going with it. As we scale up, we'll get more on the publisher side with that.
Got it. Okay, thanks. That's helpful. Have the quests? Is there precedence for that? Like, has it been done successfully in the past, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's Zeely and Layer Zero have done this. We've actually done them quests through these platforms too on our marketing side, and we started working with Bandit. Bandit did the Sage Burn event for us for more recently, and then also showed us how they were doing quests and have been kind of white labeling this stuff. So there's a ton of precedent, I think, especially in the Web3 space. But one thing that Bandit's brought up with us that's been super interesting is like they're throwing out ideas like, hey, like, what if we just did all the rewards in BAT? And I'm like, yes. so this is stuff where we're working through it and like proving it out, like we typically have to do with these things. But I'm excited about it because for us, it kind of helps to deliver on something we really wanted to do early on, with adding in better rewards and better engagements than what you get with display ads. Like, and it does it in a way that's like very Web3 and has kind of grown on its own in Web3.
Got it. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, of course. No, it's a great question. Baz, do you have hand up?
Yes. And this is probably a little bit more general too. So maybe like even building it to some of the people on the call. But I know we've had a user over the last like month or two that's been reporting a lot of issues with Uphold in the Discord as far as getting logged out. But then his problem is he has trouble getting logged back in because it's most of the time is showing it as under maintenance for Uphold. And I don't know, I kind of told him, well, you should really post on the community forum. But if it's under maintenance, then that's probably outside of being a Brave issue. That's more of a Uphold issue, most likely. But I was just kind of curious if has like Uphold been like really on the having a lot of issues lately, or is it just maybe an isolated thing? If anybody's using Uphold on the call, maybe you could just comment in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear if people have been having issues. I think what you mentioned around like even flagging it to community is a good idea, because then if other people report having the issues too, we can take something like that link and then go to Uphold about it and have it be like, quantifiable, even if it's like anecdotal from every time you have a certain amount of users, you can kind of assume that a broader ring of users are having that issue. I haven't heard anything direct, but that said, that doesn't mean that things aren't happening that are issues either. I think like one thing that we've been super focused on has been getting on-chain settlements out. I think we're even doing our first testing with this internally now, with test groups out. And I think this is one of those things where, again, it's helpful because we don't have to be dependent upon custodians for a lot of the settlement flows and things like that. Like, and it's no surprise to anybody on this call some of the difficulties we've experienced when changes have happened on the custodial side, regardless of the partner, that we've had to kind of work through with the community and also with the partners directly. So I think, I don't know enough specifics to comment on what you're seeing from users right now. If anybody's on the call that does, I'd love to have you all speak up on that. But yeah, I think that this again is just emphasizing why this on-chain settlements are going to be awesome, because not only is it like finishing out what we really wanted to start with this thing from the get-go with doing stuff on chain, but it's also going to remove the need for the intermediary on the in the flow that people are dealing with. I don't know if anybody else on the team heard about anything like that, but and Banner, you got a hand up.
Yeah, I was a question I had from one of the ambassadors regarding the on-chain rewards. Is it going to require KYC, or how is it going to work?
Yeah, I don't think it'll require like ID verification, KYC. Like there'll be some claim process flow, but it's not going to be like what you deal with, at least to my knowledge, at least right now.
Yeah, it's obviously all in the works, because my hope was that we'd be able to get the rewards going worldwide again. Would that be possible?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously like, wherever we can possibly do it, we'll do it without getting into trouble. Like, I think a lot of these regional restrictions from the partners, some of them have been because of regulatory reasons that they're dealing with, but like other things have been like less explainable that way that we wouldn't have to do it, you know what I mean? But I think that like the benefit of going on chain with this is that I think with the exception of probably like OFAC sanction list countries, like where Brave could get in trouble for, settling out an entity based in the West. But aside from that, I think that's like, most of the globe would be covered on that. And I mean, like for us, collecting any information on the user is always a super sensitive thing we try to avoid. And so we've got some really, really smart people on, the whole anti-fraud and on the flow process that are trying to figure out the best way to do that without us having to, go too far down that rabbit hole. If that makes sense.
I think part of the essence of Web 3.0 is like cutting out the human intermediary that takes up too much money in a way. So I'm sure there's, if you haven't got to, there'll be a Web3 way of KYCing that'll cost pennies,
And I think it's cool too, because like with zero knowledge, approaches to these things, you can still prove out, whether it's reputation over time and other things like that from users, especially over long periods of time, which rewards users tend to be like long-term users. I mean, you guys have seen it too, like in the last run when things were starting to pop up, you had people that were saying like, oh, I've been using Brave for years and like, my rewards are like this, like, and it's kind of cool. But for us, what we've seen too is like those rewards users retain really well. And so, I think being a browser knows a lot about a user locally. And one thing our team's been really good at doing is like leveraging ways of using that local information without having to send it out in order to like prove things, whether it's what you're trying to, showing you something relevant or whatever. Right. Like, and so I think that there are ways that the team's looking at this that are pretty interesting. And we can get to the bottom of it. You're right. Like the whole ethos of this, right? Like is to try and like disintermediate from this. That's the whole point of like using the smart contracts to begin with, was to just like make these things more automated, right? And I think like
it's even if you just take it back to Bitcoin, it's simply having the miner do it rather than the bank manager,
100%.
100%. Like another thing you'd be able to tell some of the sus actors by it'd be like, okay, they're just sending it all to the same exchange addresses. That's a lot of browsers sending cashing out at once.
Exactly, right. So
anyway,
it'll be a dance, right? Like anytime we're doing something new, where you're rolling out something new like this, it'll be a dance for sure. But I think that it's the right direction, right? Like ultimately, and I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's just, I think we've seen a lot of a lot of cases where the benefits of this technology have shown through, whether it's like the Canada with the truckers, and all that stuff, or even with the browser, where it's like, look, like all of a sudden 75% of the folks that were getting serviced are now not serviced properly anymore, right? Like it sucks. Like so this gets us out of that. And I think like too, looking forward, like this Boomerang protocol that we put the paper out on, it's just like, look, here's a whole bunch of other ways you can use this technology to do pretty awesome things in a totally decentralized way and open source, et cetera. So pretty excited for where that's going, but mostly just for the users too, because I know it sucked, right? Like for a lot of it sucked for support for everybody. Let's get it in the right direction. Like that's what I'm pretty bullish about it.
I'm just looking forward to having the Bat Brigade back on full form. It's a lot easier to promote the browser that you're getting the free tokens for each week than the ones that you used to get it for.
Exactly. That's the best way that you could sum that up. I think I'm not even going to go further on that.
Anyway, I'll be quiet and let someone else get a word in.
No, it's wonderful, man. It's wonderful, and I think Crippled Resistance has a hand up too. So, what's on your mind, Crippled Resistance?
Yes. How do you see Brave's relationship with Ford progressing, or any other bigger companies?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it's been a good relationship. I actually went to New York last week, maybe the week before last. Everything kind of blurring together. And I was talking to our sales rep that made the deal happen with Ford. And this was a long-term deal. It took them a while to get it, but it's one where they renewed and they kept it going. And we see it as a great relationship where they're checking in with them and making sure they're happy. And like the whole sales team is kind of pushing to get bigger advertisers like Ford on, because that's kind of, if they get in now and we get in a cadence with them, like as we get bigger and bigger, they're already there, right? Like, and I think that's one of the cool things about the search ad part too, is that people buy on search ads and it's like, it's something you just keep spending on because you're basically serving ads based on the intent of the user. And then we're tuning the browser model to work similarly on that front. But it's great. I mean, I love it. And Ford seems to be liking it too. And we're using it to kind of parlay into other advertisers as well. And there's a bunch of stuff that's actually closing, that's more big brands too that'll be on the way too. So pretty
do they have any desires for other aspects for the ad? Do they want anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's there. The way these things work is it takes a while to like have the teams move on this stuff. I mean, I think it took a seller like 5 or 6 months of just pressing to even get the buy-in anyway, because you're dealing with agencies. And so like, I think the natural step with this would be like, oh, cool, here's what we were able to do in the US. Since a lot of these big brands, they don't do like just a global buy. They're kind of isolated in different regions. And so what would be a cool step next would be to say, look, like we've got a big audience in Latin America or in Europe or wherever, let's get Ford on in those regions too, based on what you've been seeing in the US. I'm not sure how well that's going on the international side, but I think, the team's they're talking with a bunch of big box retailers and a bunch of other folks. This new sales team has like got a pretty big Rolodex with a lot of the big companies in the US. And so there's a lot of focus there, but obviously like having this ads manager rollout is awesome because like I was saying earlier, we can have somebody like Carlos go down to Latin America, like hit up the agencies directly and be like, look, like here's a new tool that your ad buyers can use to get to this growing audience. And here we are. And then you're dealing directly with the brands. What's been frustrating, like I know this firsthand because I did a lot of this early on when we launched the platform and like when we got Intel Gamer Days on, like I was really involved with that. These media buying cycle, when you're dealing directly with the agencies and agency reps, it's like a long process. And so like where I think we have an advantage is like trying to go above that process and hit up the decision makers above them and say, hey, look, like this isn't something for one brand to do. Like, this is something for all your brands to do. And then we also have this search engine too. And the search ad business is like one of the most successful businesses ever. Like, here's an opportunity to get on this early before everybody else is in and you're fighting everybody for space kind of thing. So yeah, like big brands are a big focus. The sales cycles are a little longer. But also right now we're seeing a lot of the Web3 stuff pick up. And then we're also seeing some interesting activity around like AI startups that were funded about a year ago that now have to start showing growth. And so we're hitting up all these angles. Like we have some folks looking at these emerging areas like AI and Web3, where we're starting to see money coming in. And then we're also got folks working on the more traditional side. I hope that helps. But I think there's like a lot of room too for like, you know, big podcasters, other creators, folks like that want to get in front of this audience to get in front of this audience. I mean, and one thing people don't really think about until you bring it up to them is like, look, like you might have opinions about advertising elsewhere. When you advertise in another browser, like in another space, you're fighting against every other advertiser, against every other network, against every other blah, 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 that's running against whatever you're trying to do. In Brave, you're just running against other advertisers that are in Brave. So it's kind of like a ideal environment for advertisers to directly get in front of users.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bows, or were you next, Bows? I think you were next, but I think Trevor's got a hand up too.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like, kind of what's the situation with the anti-fraud when things move on chain? I mean, are y'all going to have to start doing like more chain analytics? I would just assume there's going to be like kind of new fraud avenues.
Yeah,
that could be hard to manage.
It's a great question, and it's something like our anti-fraud team's been working a lot on. It's something we also like can't put a lot of information out there for obvious reasons on, but there are the funny thing about ID verification with KYC and AML, and a lot of this is kind of becoming more publicized, is just how bad these systems are in general and how much they're spoofed, et cetera. And so what our team can do is they can work on, you know, things with AI off different types of signals that are different, right? Like, or novel ways of combining things, et cetera, to find, you know, a better read on legitimate behavior or not. The nice thing is that we've been in production for, you know, since 2019 with ads, and our team, especially over the past 3.5 years, have gotten really good about anti-fraud on the advertising side of it. And so, you know, where we would rely on payment settlements to get flagged at the custodial level before, I mean, we had anti-fraud on that front too, but that's the newer part is on that settlement flow. But the nice thing is that we've got a system that has been, you know, has been worked on for years that has tried to also proactively flag these things, because the settlement part's important. But the other part that's been really important that we've had to put a lot of effort into is like flagging stuff early, because if an advertiser comes in and you're showing them stuff, like, we prefer to tell them, hey, look, we're not going to put your money against stuff that we don't feel comfortable billing you on, right? So like what that required us to do was to like work on detecting it up front and showing reporting that we feel defensible, we can defend, like charging money against, right? Which means that you've got to look at it earlier in the game than just on the crypto settlement side. And so, you know, there's going to be stuff to learn. That's one of the reasons why we're rolling it out the way we are, so we can get a good read of how this starts to look as we get more and more users with it. But I think our team's been, you know, put years into this, right? Like, and yeah, like we're with anything else that's new, you're going to find new funky things when you're out in production that you couldn't necessarily game plan for. It's like all war plans basically fall apart the minute the first bullet's fired, kind of thing. But I think that's part of the reason why we want to phase it in, and also like we, like with everything, right? Like we'll keep an ear out for you all too, like what you're seeing and reporting back as we go forward too, as another source to help us work together on this thing. Trevor, you have a question, and just I have like before Trevor jumps in, I have to jump at 2:55 today because I have to do a podcast interview, so I'm gonna have to cut it 5 minutes early. But we definitely have time for Trevor's question. Trevor, do you have a question?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Who's the podcast with?
It is with this gentleman that works on autonomous driving technology with AI. I'm trying to remember his first name. I'm not going to say it because I know I'm going to butcher it, and I don't have it right in front of my face. But it's for the Brave Technologist podcast we do.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we're doing the second. By the way, second season, first episode dropped last week with Austin Campbell. You guys should check it out. It's pretty good. He actually mentions BAT in the PayPal use case, which is kind of cool too. So it's on my profile. If you guys want to go on Twitter, you can find it.
All right, cool. My questions were basically related to advertisers and also I believe self-serve ads are now fully up and running. Is that correct?
Yeah, we launched them a week before last, and so you can go. We have a blog post about it, and yeah, English language campaigns can run, and you can go register and start running a campaign now.
Okay, cool. I noticed there was this company Raposa Nitro Cold Brew Coffee, something like that. I clicked on it the first time I saw it. I clicked on it. I was like, "Oh, pay with crypto is exciting." Everything was sold out. So I don't know if that was me being unlucky or if their inventory was just super low.
Actually, hey guys,
go ahead, Jenny or Cheryl. Yeah.
I actually just talked to them about that today. We did pause their campaigns because they have run out of coffee, but they will be back soon. They are restocking very quickly right now.
Okay.
Those
are good problems, you know.
Yes,
like we did a spaces with them, right? Like it was pretty awesome. Like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yep, that was them.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. I just thought it was funny. And also, as far as self-serve goes, do you have any intention to release KPIs, evaluations of how self-serve is working for the people that choose to go that path? Like what their performance is like?
Yeah, we want to. We're working on case studies with a few of them. Jimmy Secretan was on last week. His startup Maven is running with us, and we're talking with him, several other people about this. I think in the first month of this, a lot of this is us looking at the initial data and kind of like iterating really quickly on like, okay, what are we missing? What can we fix? And then I think once things steady state, like we'll start putting out more KPIs on this. What I'd really like to do is be able to show a breakout of like total campaigns, total campaign purchases, and BAT, because we're offering like an initial limited time kind of promo for first time customers that want to spend in BAT that we're giving a discount on. But we'll tune that to be like have an evergreen kind of like a ongoing incentive for people to pay with BAT. But ideally, this all gets a lot more transparent. I think right now we're a couple weeks in on this first launch, and we're working on getting other stuff too, like this localization and things like that in place that'll open up a lot more revenue. But one thing we're really looking at doing with self-serve is like having it be like a really good bridge for revenue to bring in additional revenue. Because I think people, a lot of ad buyers are like, as things have gotten more programmatic, a lot of ad buyers just like to buy direct and do things like turn the knobs themselves and be more hands-on with it. And so right now, our real big focus is on like getting engaged with customers and getting as much feedback as possible, and then getting as many new customers in as possible. And I think once we get things steadied out, we'll be, I have it as an action item, and I've been talking with the team about it, like getting more public metrics out on it. Performance wise though, I think that like right now what we're seeing is like pretty similar benchmarks to what we're seeing across the managed service campaigns. A lot of it comes down to like finding the right fit. And so there will be a lot of that up front where you'll get certain brands that probably where we might be like too small and not have enough like, female audience or enough, people into a certain niche where these things might not be very great right now or not. But we're also seeing stuff that we know is favorable. We're seeing a bunch of crypto companies doing it. And we're also seeing a bunch of like small scale agencies that are testing it out. And so, yeah, we definitely will. I'm going to start to like, as we get this up, see what I can, get cleared on to report. But I'd love to be able to tell you guys where we're at like weekly, monthly with this stuff, like on these calls, just like Jenny does with the reports and the stats that she has here.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. One Strick, you have a hand up?
Yeah, quick one. Piggybacking off that, is the like lower ad buys because of lower ad revenue in general? or like a combination of like custodial issues and everything going on?
Yeah,
And you think
lower,
that'll pick up?
I think it'll pick up for sure. We're seeing it pick up already. A lot of it, like we had a pretty rough second half of the year last year where, it was a mix of like a lot of like that economic slowdown stuff impacted advertising, impacted us really hard because we were really over indexed on crypto. And then what we've already started seeing is a lot of that crypto stuff forming back up, but also like I think there's like one person remaining from the original sales team, maybe two that we had. So we brought on a whole new team, and that just takes some time to get ramped up. And so we're starting to see that stuff pick back up now. But with self-serve, that's another area too, where another revenue stream that's more automated and less reliant on the sales cycle. And so then it just becomes about marketing the platform to prospective buyers versus having to go through that. So it'll be a good mix, I think, of like, high touch for the customers that want that or need that, and then also like direct, buying from advertisers that just come to self-serve. That's kind of the goal, and we've set in paths for folks that want to like run search ads. There's a path that can get them into queue for that. There's a path for doing the bigger sponsored image buys on the new tab page, etc. So like, and as self-serve buyer can have access to get those units that are, higher dollar units, but also be able to go in and just test and run with the easy stuff too.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. I'm at time now. I got to cut this one 5 minutes early, but I really want to thank everybody. Great presentation, Jenny. Really good questions from you all, and we will be back in 1 week. And until then, see you all online. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming. Ciao.
See ya.